speaker played on the Auburn football team as a field goal kicker. His longest was 52 yards. His most memorable was when he scored the margin of victory against Brett Favre and Southern Miss. He was actually a featured extra in a football movie called We Are Marshall. His son Grant, age 9, wants to play football, but he says no until he's a little bigger. His daughter Marissa, age 12, has no such ambitions. Best vacation ever? Hands down, it was Florida hopping for a full month with his 2 kids. Highlights were Legoland, Disney, and Universal. He enjoys a good party, but hold the alcohol. Ask him how you can get a DUI when you are completely sober. He does what it takes to get the ball through the uprights, always looking for the margin of victory. He can spend quality time with his kids. I give you Mark Sobel-Sorrell.
Heck of a story. I'll tell you another time, but it is one heck of a story. And trust me, it does happen. But I got out of it, so that's a happy ending, good story to that. The Legoland and the hopping, that was a couple years ago, still paying for it. So, needless to say, I don't recommend it unless you really do save. The story about all those people that save for years just to go to Disney, imagine how much you have to save to go to all of them. All right, let's talk about mortgages. There are 3 things you need to get mortgages. I've been doing this 17 years. I thought I knew everything about the mortgage business. Still don't. There are new things that come up all the time. What do you think are the 3 items that you really need to get a mortgage?
Credit, income, and social.
All right, you need credit, very important. Technically, it's a 640 score or higher, and that's your middle score, the average of the 3. Get rid of the high score, you get rid of the low score, the middle score is what we use. That's number 1. Income, proven, verifiable income. Not something that says, I made $100,000 last year. Man, I gotta see proof. The underwriter's gotta see proof or it's gonna get thrown out immediately. You can say whatever you want. The old days of saying that, it's called the stated income, long gone. The third thing is you have to have money down, equity in the house, or some type of reserves or down payment. It's required. You can't get out of it. There are no 100% loans anymore. If there are, the rates are ridiculous and they're not even worth it to anybody who's the average person. You have to have a minimum of 3.5% down for an FHA loan. There are 3% down conventional loans, which is 3% down, 97% mortgage. A lot of hoops to jump through, but they're out there and you better be a good borrower. But, like I said, you had to have all 3. That's all you need. Wrong. You have all 3 of those, like I talked to someone the other day. I got great credit. I got a great job. I got plenty of money. I haven't filed my tax return in 3 years. Oh, done. You can't do it. Because there's something called a 4506 that a borrower has to sign. It gives the IRS the permission to check the tax returns that are on file with them to make sure they match up with what I'm supposed to collect. If they send in to try to get those tax returns and they're not turned in, kills the deal. If they will not even go to underwriting, won't even look at it. That's the first thing they do is they pull the tax return. So I told this person, you're a great borrower. Wish you would have done your taxes. So what do? You go file your taxes. But I might owe money. Well, you're going to owe a lot more if you don't do it because they are trying to match up W-2s. They're trying to match up 1098s. There's a lot of things that the IRS want to match up. So you have to do your taxes. The other thing, rates are unbelievably low, everyone. I mean, really, really low. We never thought that they would get down to this again, and they are. On a $200,000 loan, a 15-year loan right now is at 2.75%. That is unbelievable. That is cheap money, man. Real, real cheap money. That principal and interest payment on a 15-year loan is $1,357, principal and interest. You want a 3-bedroom apartment somewhere, you're going to pay $1,500 for it, for a decent one. And then even more than that. So that's really, really cheap. Well, the way you hear about the 30-year fixed at 3.5%. It's for the good borrower. 3.5% for a 30-year fixed. $898 on a $200,000 loan. I mean, come on, guys. Everybody needs to take advantage of this. I don't know how long it's going to be. I never thought it would get back to this again. It was high, low. 17 years ago when I got into this business, people were dying and killing me for an 8% rate. Please, please, please get me this. I'd answer the phone. They'd say, thank God you answered. Would you please do my mortgage? A long time ago. Wish it was that way now, but it isn't. There's a lot of lies out there, and we all deal with it in our businesses. Competing against lies is brutally difficult. It's almost impossible because the people who you're talking to who are uneducated in your business want to believe the lie because it sounds so good. But then we come in, try to tell them the truth, major thing in the mortgage business, because there's no real accountability on that initial transaction. You get a good faith estimate, they don't put in certain fees. Well, you can't compete against that because I'm going to tell everybody exactly the way it is. This is what it's going to be. Because at the closing table, they're going to be stuck and they're going to have to pay a lot more money and they're going to be very unhappy and they'll never get another referral out of them if they even close at that point. Give you an example of how many people are involved in this process. I used to be able to close a loan in 5 days. That's application, appraisal, underwriting, boom, 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 closing 5 days. And not business days. People worked on the weekends back then. That was 5 days from start to finish. I close your mortgage. Now, you need at least a good, in a best smooth situation where everything goes smoothly, 30 days. You really need about 45 days. Many times it's going to 60 days. That's why the locks, you don't see a 10 or 15-day lock anymore when you lock in an interest rate. You see 30, 45, and 60 days because that's the underwriting, the regulations, everything that has been put in place to regulate the heck out of this industry. You got to go through all those steps and processes. Appraisals. People still think that I have real control over the appraisals. We don't. There's another element that's been put in called an AMC, an appraisal management company. We order it through this third party. We don't know the appraiser. We don't know where they're coming from. Anything. It's more expensive. It's about $450 for an appraisal. Used to be, when I was in it, $275. So needless to say, it's tough. I just had a deal. $176,000 was the minimum that we needed on this. We got $153,000. I appealed it 3 times. But if I appeal it and the appraiser goes with the appeal, that's the appraiser telling his appraisal management company, I didn't do a good job. You think he's going to go with it? No. He completely stuck with his deal, even though I proved him wrong at least 5 or 6 times. And we didn't get the deal. Killed the deal. There's some things that are totally out of my control. That is one of the things. 20,000 difference is pretty big. But in most ways, I'm able to fix things. If I'm going to sit down and take the application, take your time, take my time, 99% of the time it's going to close. And I'm going to do everything solutions-oriented as you can even possibly imagine. I know the underwriters personally. We all work very hard to get it done. We're going to get the loan done. Sure, challenging loans are okay and I can get them done. Send me a nice, easy deal for once. To have a nice, easy, smooth deal where they did their tax returns, I'd be happy to get it done. I'm Mark Sorrell with Envision Capital Lending. Been on this team for 17 years, been doing the mortgage, 16 years, been doing the mortgage business for 17 years. Send me your business. Thank you.